Hey y'all, welcome to Melanated Maker DIY. It's me, Taji, and welcome to my corner of the internet. Today we are tackling my home office, and as you can see here, the closet, or lack thereof, has just started spilling out into my office, and the vibes were no longer vibing, okay? I jumped into this office makeover with my jigsaw and just started cutting out the center shelf in the closet. This is a reminder for anyone that you do not need to use glue in home renovation projects. It was so easy to pull the shelf apart, your girl was immediately feeling confident in the plan here. I was planning to put the doors back on the closet and restore it to being a closet so that I could use it for the overflow of my seasonal clothes that I didn't want to keep in my primary closet. I took the piece of trim that I pulled off and I cut it down with my miter saw to use for the new shelf fronts. This was the no-cost part of the project, and I will always take a cost-saving moment when I can get it. I nailed the new trim in place and then caulked everything so it would be fresh and neat. I patched and painted the wall and the closet doors went back on. If you're wondering how I put these shelves up in my closet in the first place, I actually made a video some time ago and talked all about it. Oh my gosh, I didn't even introduce myself, y'all. How rude of me. If you've never been here before, I'm Taji. I make videos sharing DIY and home makeover projects and the life lessons I've learned that go beyond the lumber and the power tools. I'm taking y'all on the journey of these projects as I turn my house into a home. So if you are a creative, if you like DIY, or if you just like listening to the inner dialogue of a stressed out mom, please subscribe so you can follow along. As much as I love these pegboards, and it was definitely an era for me, I was entering a new era, my mom era, and I was just needing a little more space for myself. I wanted to make a space that felt calm and restorative. I really wanted it to have its own vibe, somewhere I can go that reminds me to be gentle to myself and reminds me that I'm still growing. Which is probably a lot to ask of a room, especially one that would double as a guest bedroom, but a girl can dream, can't she? So while I was thinking about personal growth and calmness and restoration, I really found myself attracted to the color sage. So naturally, I tried not to overthink it, and I went out and just bought a can of sagey green paint. If you're watching this video, I'd assume you've seen the thumbnail and are like, wait, Taji, what? Your office is not green. It's not, okay, I know. But let's just enjoy the ride, okay? It's not always about the destination. The journey can be the most important part, right? So at this point, I paint my office sage and I love it. I was feeling warm. I was feeling cozy. I was feeling ready to thrive in my mom era. As much as I would have loved to have floating shelves, I'm a new mom, y'all. I'm tired. I just didn't have the time or the energy for that. So I bought some low-profile shelf hardware and cut some 1x12 boards for my bookshelves. I also bought this pine wood bed frame, and I just loved the pairing of the pine with the sage. It felt so earthy and grounded, just chef's kiss. So I put up most of my books because I wanted to know what it would look like, and I loved it. Also, I'm always curious how people organize their books. I keep mine organized by genre, so like romance, memoirs, poetry, art books. You guys get the picture. I do love to see it though when people color code their bookshelves. Maybe I'll get to that point someday. I don't know, you tell me. But if you're a book lover or book reader or book collector, how do you guys organize your bookshelves? Or what have you seen that you like? I need some recommendations. Leave me some tips in the comments below. So after that, I removed the books and I took off all the shelves, stacking them so I could number them. I figured it would make it easier in putting them back on in the right order and facing the way that I liked best. Then it was time for finishing. Lately, whenever I get into the sanding and sealing stage of a project, I always use the time to dive into my audiobook of choice. And during this project is when I discovered Kennedy Ryan. If you love romance or contemporary novels, then you need to get to know Kennedy Ryan. I would read this woman's grocery list. She's so talented. I started with her novel Before I Let Go, and it was immediately my favorite book of the year. And this was in like February or March of 2023, right? And Before I Let Go definitely is in my top 5 all-time favorites. As I'm recording this now, it's April 2024, and I actually just finished listening to the next book in the Skyland series, This Could Be Us, and whew, I could have read it over a weekend, but I paced myself because it was just, I knew it was going to be good, and I wanted to enjoy it and savor it and really soak it in. And y'all, a romance novel where the lead love interest is yourself? Like, what? But the male lead was so kind and sincere and like encouraging of finding that like self-love on top of like opening and having the space for someone else to love you as well. Oh my gosh. I immediately 5 stars. And I can be a little picky with my 5 stars, but this was absolutely a 5-star read. I'm actually really curious. Are there any book lovers here? What are y'all reading? What genre do you like? Drop some recommendations in the comments because I've been reading a lot of books. Obviously, I got a whole library. Let me know how I should stock my shelves. So I've got the new shelves back into place, and thankfully I took a picture of the bookshelf setup, and all I needed to do was copy my original design. I made some tweaks here and there, and I am just in love with how it turned out. Naturally, things were going a little too well and God had to humble me. I bought the wrong size bed, and honestly, I had procrastinated unboxing it for so long that by the time I realized it, I couldn't even return it. So we're just gonna keep moving past that part and focus on this new desk that I bought. It's an adjustable standing desk and I love it so much. It was so nice to have the flexibility to sit or stand, and I also bought a walking pad so now I can walk while I work. Chef's kiss. So I hope you didn't forget about our paint journey. After working in the new space for about a week or so, I was so in love with the green that I felt like I needed more of it. I wanted the whole room to be this earthy, sagey green, and so I set off and started painting, and when I took a step back, I noticed that all the green was a bit too much green. Should I have maybe trusted the process? Maybe, but I was trying to throw myself into change and trust my feelings, and well, the feelings were all over the place. I decided that maybe I should try a complementary color that would work with the sage green to add dimension to the room, and thought maybe a taupey color would work. So, in trusting my gut, I go out, I buy this gorgeous color called Artistic Taupe, and it was go time. I start painting it on, and I'm feeling a little bit skeptical, but I'm like, trust the process, trust the process. I'm always telling my friends and family, growth is just outside your comfort zone. So I paint the office and then I go to sleep on it, and in the morning I thought to myself, do I even need to grow? do I? The Artistic Taupe was so pretty, don't get me wrong. It was this gorgeous like light pink, mauve, purpley hue, taupey color, but it was giving too purple, and purple with green is not the vibe that I was going for. Finally, I was like, okay, let's get some samples. I really needed to stop buying whole gallons of paint. So now I'm thinking if I get a lighter green color that works with the sage, then I can get this nice monochromatic look. And well, I was going for this very like Mother Nature moment, you know what I mean? And it ended up being definitely not that. The color I chose ended up being too bright white with like a hint of green in it. And then it started giving Easter, which is not the goal. At this point, like any sane person, I was starting to spiral. I'm thinking, what if I never find a color? What if I have to repaint my entire office in order to pivot from this storm that I've created? How was I going to explain to my husband all these cans of paint that I keep buying? This was the moment that I finally stopped painting and had to take a step back. So while I did not like the color, I honestly couldn't trust myself anymore, and I couldn't trust that I could make a solid decision on a paint color. So I hit pause on all of it and told myself I would just have to wait 3 months before I painted the room anything else. This happened at the same time that I was building my entertainment center, which I have a series of videos on and you should check it out. But this was also the same time that my husband and I decided to move. And so I decided at this time that I was just going to sell this house with the sage and the Easter greens because moving is hard enough. And finding a new paint color to paint this room was it was not going to happen. It was not on my list of things to do. After the great green paint fiasco and a whole lot of time and a whole new house, I kept thinking about that artistic taupe color and how much I loved it. So when we moved and I had the chance to have a clean slate, I knew with no hesitation that I was about to circle the block and paint my office artistic taupe. Having this color in my office finally gave me the calm, restorative vibe that I was going for. And seeing this color and thinking about all the paint choices it took to get me here is the best reminder that every day I need to be gentle with myself. I was trying to accept the fact that life is changing faster than I could have ever imagined and in ways that I honestly had never expected it to. And I felt like I was emotionally screaming, "Hey, I'm open to change." But the subtext of it was, I'm really open to change as long as I felt like I could control it. And obviously, that's not how change shows up. That's not how growth shows up. Maybe it was through this process of painting 1,000 walls, or just through the year it took to get to this point in the project, but I felt like I had a better understanding of how to ride the waves of change. I look back at this video and I honestly don't fully even recognize myself. So much has changed in the past year, but I'm no longer trying to control change. I'm just trying to ride the wave and enjoy the view. And I just left off in my entertainment center series talking about taking control in my life. And I also recognize that sometimes that's just how the pendulum swings, of no control to too much control. And it's just all a part of the journey and learning to enjoy the ride. And that's what this project taught me, that truly embracing change can be the start of something new and beautiful. So like any real project, I've ended up at Home Depot, and this true goddess of a woman helped me with cutting some new 1x12 boards down for the shelves I planned for this office. I found and marked my studs in the wall, and I decided this time around that I'd try some new hardware. Why not? I haven't had enough trouble already, right? No, I won't even hold you in suspense. Not only was the hardware hard to drill into the studs because of the width of it, but the brackets were 12 inches deep, which doesn't actually work for lumber that's quote unquote 12 inches wide, because it's actually 11.5 inches. So I decided to just remove those and bought the same brackets that I used at the old house for my sanity. Speaking of sanity, I had originally planned to do 4 shelves, 2 longer and 2 shorter, and while installing the hardware, I realized that the lowest shelf actually had electrical in the wall, so I very quickly backed out of that idea. I didn't plan to put much on that low shelf, so I had the dumb idea of trying to use rug tape to attach the brackets to the wall, and well, like I said, it was a dumb idea. I get it. You don't have to tell me. I get it. So now I'm trying to work smarter, not harder, and especially since I was high-key getting tired of this project, I bought some black table legs to match the shelf hardware and turn this last shelf into a cute little table instead. Lastly, and I'm truly excited to be saying lastly, I installed this glass dry erase board on the wall across from the bookshelf. While this room will also be my little personal library, it is also my home office half of the week. Putting this thing up was so hard. I really wish they would have given like a paper template on where to drill into the wall for the mounts. But yeah, that's why if you look really closely, you'll notice that there's only 3 of the 4 mounts screwed in, and that's just that. I didn't have it in me anymore, but it's up and it's gorgeous and I love it. And I'll find a really cute sticker to put over where that last mount screw should go. Finally, after another wild journey of a project, the home office / home library is open for business, y'all. I still have to finish unpacking and I still have to decorate, but that'll be in a future video, is right now I'm just enjoying the peace and calm of having a space for me, by me. With all the change that life keeps throwing at me, I'm so excited to have my own little corner and my own little chair to be in. I hope you guys got some tips, tricks, inspiration, motivation, or you just enjoyed the vibes. This office library transformation was a trip, and I hope y'all love the outcome as much as I do. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe and like this video. It also really helps my channel, so consider it my little virtual tip jar. Also, leave me some comments and let me know what you guys think. I've been really loving connecting with y'all in the comments. Thank y'all so much for watching. You have no idea how much I appreciate it. I will see you guys with my next video very soon. Bye.